Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Am I the a-hole for pretending to be an Appletarian for 3 weeks as a prank, causing my friends to have an intervention for me? Posted by Appletarian. I got the idea a few weeks ago to prank my friends by pretending to be an Appletarian, meaning someone who only eats food products that are derived from apples and would only drink apple juice or apple cider. I told them all that I'd read on the internet that only eating apples was the healthiest thing for you. When I first told them, they thought I was joking, but they underestimated how committed I would be to a joke. So, whenever in the presence of one of my friends, or friends of friends, co-workers, etc., anyone who knew them, I was very careful to only be seen eating apples or drinking apple juice or apple cider. Apples whole, apples diced, apple sauce, the inside of an apple pie, baked apples, candied apples with the chocolate shaved off, etc. Finally, after about a week, they bought that I'd become an Appletarian. They started giving me information about how unhealthy it was to only eat apples, and growing increasingly exasperated by it. Some of them even got angry. But I wanted to stick with the joke. Finally, after 3 weeks, I walked into what I was told was a movie night, but was actually an intervention for me. They were all super concerned about my well-being, and had all sorts of information or whatever. Finally, I started laughing hysterically. They were confused as hell, so I told them I'd been faking it the whole time, and been eating real meals outside of their knowledge. I even took some beef jerky out of my pant pocket to prove it, and munched on it. I thought they'd appreciate the joke, but they were actually really annoyed. My girlfriend even broke up with me over this, because a few days ago I had ruined our date night when I told a waiter that I only wanted apples because I was an Appletarian, and had embarrassed her for a dumb joke. In my opinion, the joke was solid, and they should appreciate my commitment to the prank, but did I go too far? Yeah, you are the a-hole, but not gonna lie, that was hilarious to read. Wife complains I don't clean while I cook, so I proceed to sparkle the kitchen instead of making dinner. Posted by 1mm off. I, 33 male, often do the cooking at home, including the washing up that happens after. My wife, 34 female, usually doesn't cook. We had established that by our second date years ago. I love her to bits, but she's a culinary disaster, and time and sweat has failed to make any improvements. It's a lost battle. The sequence of dinner prep usually starts as soon as I finish work. This involves chopping meat and vegetables and rounding up anything that was previously marinated or thawed. This is immediately followed by cooking and then serving to be eaten hot. It seems logical to me that meals should be enjoyed while they're fresh, and the cleaning up can wait, especially if the kitchen isn't being used by anyone else in the interim. I'm also the one who normally does the washing up after everyone's eaten, and I wash all the cutlery and cooking prep stuff in the same process. This is done while my wife settles our toddler into bed. I prefer this setup because I can get all the washing done in one go, and everyone can eat their meals at the same time together while it's fresh. I don't like washing pans and pots in a wok after cooking and before eating. My wife, however, seems to get annoyed at this. Every now and then, while I'm cooking, she walks in and starts complaining, making notes that I should pack this up and that up, and I should clean the board while waiting for the stir fry to finish, etc. Sometimes there's literally no downtime for certain dishes, especially with several to serve before it gets too late for the toddler. To be clear, I'll certainly clean some things as I go, especially when it concerns raw meat or things that need to go back in the fridge. I'll wipe down if there's any offensive spills, but for things like chopping boards and certain packages and condiments, I'll leave them on the bench top until I'm done or when I'm washing up. Things that I don't feel pose any risk or have any urgency to be put away, other than making the kitchen look tidy during cooking. Happy to be proven wrong. Anyway, one day, for whatever reason, my wife got real snarky at me because I left a chopping board next to the pans, saying it's not hard to clean as I cook. How would she know? She doesn't cook. Fine, okay, whatever. So the next meal, I made sure to clean everything I touched as I started the meal prep. I had already made sure that the little one had had her dinner, so there was no harm in drawing this out. Need to open that can of pasta sauce? Better wash down the can opener and dry it before we start. Gotta wipe down the whole kitchen top too. Whoops, dropped a garlic clove. Better give the whole kitchen floor a good scrub. Is that a bit of charred residue on the stove? Okay, better decrease the entire area. You get my drift. Wife has put the little one to sleep by now. So 3 hours later, the kitchen is sparkling. Literally. Pasta has not entered the water, and the sauce materials have not touched the pan. Wife asks, where's dinner? I tell her I haven't started cooking because I needed to clean the fridge. There were some stains under the tomato tray. She went back to bed. I still cooked and packed her lunch. I haven't been harassed since. I think she got the message. Edit. There's no expectation for my wife to clean. I've made it clear that I'm happy to do it, as I clean up messes I make. We split our duties, so she spends that time doing other things that need attention around the house. Too long didn't read. My wife complains that I don't clean while I cook. I prefer to clean after I cook. Next meal, no one gets dinner, and the kitchen is extra sparkly. Would I be the a-hole for continuing to wear a swimsuit in my friend's hot tub? Posted by Valleys Heareth. I'm currently spending the week visiting a couple that I've been friends with for many years now. I get along really well with both of them, and it's been nice to catch up and spend some time in their part of the country. They have a really nice house, and recently they added a private hot tub area out the back and said I was welcome to use it. It's got a small sauna, the hot tub, and an outdoor shower, and it's all enclosed for privacy. They're fairly open about the fact that they use it naked. I know they've visited European spas where swimwear isn't allowed. They're not nudists, they just prefer to not wear anything in spas. They've got some little jokey signs up in the spa area about being nude and another about etiquette like showering before getting in the hot tub and sitting on a towel in the sauna. But one of the etiquette rules says that swimwear is not allowed, and I ignored that. I get it, it's their thing, but it's not something I want to do, so I wore my swimwear. I left it to dry with the towels, which they noticed, and asked if I'd worn it. I told them that I had, and they said that it wasn't appropriate because they don't allow swimwear. For me, it just felt weird to get naked, because it's just a preference, and in a way, no one was around when I used it, so I didn't feel the need to follow that particular rule. I followed all the others. I said, I just don't want to be out there naked and have someone come along and see me. I said I'd do it if they promised to not also use it while I'm using it. I don't mind them being naked, but I'd rather have something on. They both said, it's not a big deal to be naked in a spa, and that if I use it while they're out, or while they're working, it's unlikely that either of them will come out and use it at the same time as me. But they won't promise to give me private use. They're saying that as it's their house, I should respect their rules and use it without my swimsuit. But they're basically saying that I can't object to them coming out and joining me while I'm naked. It wasn't a super heated argument, just a debate about the principle. They've told me I shouldn't use it if I'm not willing to do so naked, and accept that they may also want to use it at the same time. Would I be the a-hole if I ignored them and just kept wearing my swimsuit when I use it? This is a really weird rule to try and enforce. Do they have secret cameras or something? Or are they trying to use this as a way of initiating a threesome? Maybe you should use it again, wearing a swimsuit, but don't leave the swimsuit lying around, and see if they say something. Cause if they do, you know they're spying on you. Update. So this post got way more attention than I was expecting, and some of the comments are wild. I wanted to put an update to say how the rest of the week went. Firstly, they weren't trying to do anything sexual and there were no cameras. Damn. Before anyone else asks, yes, I did check for the sake of being able to say that I have. There was nothing in my room, nothing in the bathroom or outside in the spa. A Redditor sent me an article about it and a link to an app for detecting them, so I'm sure as I can be that the place isn't bugged. I, 28 female, have known them, 26 female and 29 male, for 7 years. She's from the Netherlands originally, and he used to live there, but we currently live in Wales. I've stayed with them before, but the spa is new since my last visit. As some of you stated, I would be the a-hole if I kept using it and ignoring their rules, so I tried it without a swimsuit while they were out at work, and that went fine. Obviously, it felt a bit odd at first, but nothing too scary, and I can see the appeal and the reasons for going without. I spoke to 26 female that evening, and we sat down so I could ask why do they have the nudity rule, beside it not being a big deal to them. She was very understanding, and I think we communicated a lot better than the first time. She explained that the main reason they chose to spend money on it was that they would have somewhere here that they can use without wearing swimwear. They understand it isn't for everybody, but they bought it for them, not for anyone else. She said that people here have plenty of options if they want to visit a spa in swimwear, and basically, I don't have to use their stuff if I don't want to be naked. They mainly had two issues. She felt it was rude the way I'd asked to use it before whenever I wanted, and that they would have to work around my schedule, which is apparently how I made it sound. I did apologise for how I came across. She also made a point that it wasn't appropriate that I suggested to stay clothed while her husband was naked in there. I said it caught me off guard, as I wasn't expecting it to apply to guests, and I just assumed that they wanted to be nude, but wasn't expecting me to be also. Apparently, the spas they use in the Netherlands require that everyone be naked to use the saunas and the pools. Even the changing rooms are mixed gender, and you just wear a dressing gown in the restaurant. Most will have a couple swimwear days where the opposite applies and swimwear is mandatory. So it's all or nothing, which makes it fair for everyone, and that's why they objected to me coming in with them with a swimsuit on. She said it's better for you and the equipment to be naked. It's especially more hygienic and it's easier to maintain them. She explained how important it was to use the shower before and when moving between the hot tub and the sauna, as well as to dry off and sit on a towel when in the sauna. Just lots of info I didn't really have any ideas on before. They were happy to agree to times I could use it alone, but they'd assumed I'd understood that during the day, when they're out, was a time they'd suggested that I could use it and have some privacy. She said if I wanted to use it in the evenings, I could just check with them and agree on separate times so no one intrudes on the other, and that they'd never barge in on me without checking that I was either not in there at all or that I was covered up if they thought I was using it naked. Then I asked whether I could have worn one of my swimsuits if it was washed appropriately so as to not cause issues for them cleaning the hot tub. She said that'd be fine if I really didn't want to go in naked, but she didn't recommend wearing a swimsuit in the sauna. But she said I could go wrapped up in a towel if I wanted to be covered up. She said she didn't mind me joining her while she used it naked, but that I should just ask 29 Male if he minded, because she'd find it weird if one of his male friends wanted to come in when she was naked but insisted on being dressed. She suggested that they could put some swimwear in the wash so we can all use it together before I leave if I really wasn't comfortable with nudity, which was really kind of her. I owned up to using it again, wearing my swimsuit, and we laughed it off. She just doesn't get why I cared because they weren't even home. I then said I tried it again without, and I wouldn't mind trying it again with her. She and I went in together, without swimsuits. She reassured me that I didn't need to be self-conscious or anything and to take my time. Then, on the last night, I built up the courage to go in with both of them. It was completely platonic before anyone asks. Scary at first, but also exhilarating. I was definitely making a big effort to maintain eye contact, but 29 Male was very respectful, and I felt at ease with them in the end. I didn't forget I was naked or anything, but after a little while, I just felt okay with it, which I wasn't expecting to happen so fast. So, no big drama in the end. While the thought of nudity in front of others still makes me uncomfortable, I'm very glad I gave this a go. Thanks to everyone who offered their advice and support for this first time nude spa goer. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.